Hey, what's going on guys, Turtywurty here, and welcome back to another Minecraft modding tutorial for version 1.15.1. In this tutorial we're going to be covering blocks, and just a basic block. We'll be going over more advanced blocks and more advanced items and stuff like that, and tile entities in later videos, but for now we're just going to be going over a basic block. So first, what you're going to want to do is obviously create the block init class in your init package. There we go. And let's just remove that, because that's kind of useless. So we just want to make this an object holder, just like we did with our item init. So object holder, and we're going to want tutorial mod id. So then this is our our object holder. Then we need to make this an event bus subscriber so that we can actually register the item, the blocks. So you want at mod dot event bus subscriber, and that's going to take in mod id is equal to tutorial mod id, and bus is equal to bus.mod, and just import bus. It should import it from the right place. Make sure it is this bus and not any other bus. And then in here we can just initialize our first block. So let's go ahead and do public static final block, and I'm just going to call this example underscore block, and we're going to set that to null, and just import block from net.minecraft.block.block, and then we're going to want our registry event. So we want at a subscribe event, and then it's going to be a public static void register blocks, and that is going to take in a final registry event dot register, not like that. Why does it always do that? That's so annoying. Final registry. God, I am messing everything up today. Dot register. Okay, and we're going to register block and then call that event. Oh god, I am really messing up stuff today. Just import subscribe event and registry event. If you want to know how I quickly just import these things, you can do Control-Shift-O in Eclipse, and that will just import everything. I'm not sure about what it is in IntelliJ. I haven't used it, so I wouldn't know. And if you want to know how I bring up this menu, I do that by pressing Control Space, and it's a nice like autocomplete thing, just because some people don't know that, and I thought you should know that. So in our register blocks, we're going to want event.getRegistry.register a new block, and inside here we're going to want block.properties.create, and this is going to be the material that you want your block to be. So whatever material it's going to be, and there's all these different ones. So I'm just gonna have I think I'm just gonna have iron, just to keep it, simple. And then after that you can do any other properties of the block, any other simple properties. So for example, hardness and resistance. So if I do dot hardness and resistance, You can set them both if you want them to be the same value, so you can just use that one, or if you want them to be separate, you can use hardness and resistance, and that will take in a float and another float for both of them, which I'm going to use that one just to keep it interesting. So just so you know, hardness is how long it takes to break the block, and resistance is basically its resistance to an explosion. So I want this to be like 0.7, which is quite high for the hardness, and for the resistance I'm going to make it 15. You can look up on the Minecraft wiki what values vanilla blocks have, or you can just look it up in the blocks class. I think it's in there anyway. So if I go in blocks, you can see all these different ones. So for example, polished andesite has a hardness of 1.5 and a resistance of 6, and you can kind of base it off that. So apparently this is actually quite low, which is fine. I'm actually going to have it as 0.5, so it's a bit lower. But yeah, if you want to know how I got into this class from just typing that, all you do is hold Control and click it, and that will just bring you to the source code for all of these registered blocks. There's a lot, it's a bit of a mess, but it's okay. So we can just close that. And just get rid of blocks. There we go. Now, blocks require you to register the block and the item, because you need to register the item block, which is basically just the item for the block. You haven't had to do this pre 1.13, but since 1.13 and probably forever now, you have to register them both individually. So it's quite simple to do, thankfully. So it's just another subscribe event that you want. You can also just register them in the item in here, but to me it just makes more sense to do it in our block in it and keep them all separated. We don't want to start mixing blocks and items and get confused. So this is going to be pretty much identical actually, so we're just going to copy that, and instead we're going to rename this register item blocks, and instead of block it's going to be item. There you go, and just import item, and we're not going to want to register a new block, we're instead going to want to register a new block item. So actually this should be register block items, because it has all changed. The naming system is slightly different. So in here we're going to want to do our thing up here. So what it is, oh, one thing we missed, yeah, we haven't actually finished this one yet, have we? Stupid me. We haven't done a lot of things that we can still do. So let's do the sound for this before we go on moving to yeah, we'll do this first. So let's do the sound. So if you do dot sound, you can then do sound type dot, and then you have all these different sounds. I don't know what this one is, it's currently unmapped, so it might not actually be a thing yet. Not sure. That one's unmapped, so that could be anything really. I'm just going to use metal because that's generally what goes with. Yeah. Actually, you know what? I won't use metal. I will use sand, and then we can set the registry name. But there are other things you can do. So if you press start, it should come up with this massive list. So you can do a harvest level, so what level it requires, what tool it will require, light, so light values, loot from, I think, yeah, that's not going to be helpful. Does not block movement. I don't know what all of these do. There are obviously unmapped ones here, but not sure what they are. Tick randomly, slipperiness, you know, you can change all these different things. There's not a huge amount without creating a new class, but yeah. So I'm just going to leave that, and if I go one bracket out, we can set the registry name, and our registry name is going to be example_block. There we go, and the underscore is not showing up, but it is there, I think. Yeah, there is an underscore there. Don't know why that's not showing up. Slightly strange. So that's our register blocks, and then we can register the block items. So like that, and this is going to take in this as our first parameter, and then it's going to take in a new item.properties, come out a bracket, and then do .set registry name, and that's going to need to be the same name as this, so let's pop that in there. I think you can do other stuff, so you can do like food if you want the block to be a food. You can do these things. It's slightly strange, so like max stack size. You know, say I want to set the max stack size to 5. I don't know why I would want to do that. I'll just set it to 16, see if that actually works. And yeah, I mean that's it. That's all a block is. There's nothing more to it, unless you get into complex blocks, which we're not going to get into yet. But we'll go over more complex stuff over time. But the next thing is obviously going to be the assets side of things. So first things first, you're going to go into your source main resources. You're going to want to go into assets.yourModID, and in block state. So if you haven't created this block states package, just go ahead and create that. And then in here we're going to create a untitled text file, and we need to change this a bit. So obviously this needs to be default, I think. Okay, so yeah, you got default, and then here you just change this. Let's close. Let's delete that, and we're going to have tutorial mod : block / and then the name of your block. So mine is example_block, and just save that. 1.15 source main resources assets tutorial mod block states, and you're going to want to name this example_block.json. And just so you know, this right here will be in the description of the video, so you don't have to worry about getting it yourself. You just have to copy it from the description. And now we can do the lang. So the lang is slightly different, and I'm actually going to wait to do that one because I'm not sure what it is. So next you're going to want to go into blocks, and we're going to create the block model. So once again a new untitled text file, and in here you're going to want to get the other one from the description, and you're just going to want to add tutorial mod : blocks, yeah, blocks, I don't know why that was block, and then the name of your texture, which mine is just going to be example_block, and let's save that in 1.15 source main resources assets tutorial mod models block, and once again this is going to be named example_block.json. Make sure it's a .json, that is quite important actually. And then for the lang, you're going to want to, I'm just going to shoot it down a bit, and it's going to be block dot your mod ID, so tutorial mod dot example_block, and then I'm going to do colon like that, and then what you would like your block to be called. So mine's just going to be example block. Just as simple as that. It's not too tricky. Next is the item model, which is pretty much the same as well. No, it's not, it's different. So if we go in item, create another untitled text file, and in this one it's just going to be quite small, this one. So tutorial mod block, and mine's going to be obviously example underscore block, and you're just going to want to save this in source main resources assets tutorial mod models item, and once again we're going to name it example underscore block dot json, just like that. And finally is the texture. So you're just going to want to go and for example go into paint.net is what I'm going to do. I'll show you this one, and you're just going to want to go to image, resize, make it a 16 by 16 as that's the size that it should be. And I'm just going to make a really quick texture for this, so I'll go down there, use some orange, just get some lime, there you go, get some nice like yellow or whatever. What else? Get some pink. Yeah, always gotta love some pink. Grab some red because why not? And just get some like deep kind of blue kind of colour. And there you go, you've got an absolute mess, but you can just save this. So you're going to want to make sure you save this into this right here. No, blocks, textures blocks. So I don't know if I'll be able to show you this part. Nope, I cannot. So this is going to be blurred out for you. But just go to, I'm going to go to my desktop and tutorial mod. There you go, you'll be able to see it again now. Source main resources assets tutorial mod models block. Nope, not models, textures blocks. And this is just going to be example underscore block. Make sure it's a PNG. Go ahead, click save, and if you go into Eclipse, as you can see, if you go into Eclipse, this is a common issue. If you go into Eclipse, you see it's not here. Now this is because Eclipse doesn't support live updates. So if you change something outside of Eclipse, Eclipse won't update, so it won't refresh and it won't realize. So what you can do to fix this, to get it to show up, is just right click in the package explorer, go down to refresh, just click that, and you'll see our texture is now there, our nice beautiful texture, there it is. And that's pretty much it. Well, that is it. So now you're just going to want to run the game. Another common issue, which just happened for me, is this. So the selection cannot be launched and there are no recent launches. So this is because you don't have your package, you don't have your project selected. So what I mean by that is quite literally what I'm saying. So if you click on your project like that, just click on it, that's all, once, click once, and then run, you'll see it comes up with this. You're going to want to click run client and OK, and you should do that every time you try to run it, otherwise it's going to keep coming up with that. You can't really fix that because yeah, so I'm just going to let the game, load up, and I will see you guys in the game. Okay, so guys, we are now in the game, and one thing I did forget to do is I forgot to go ahead and add it to a creative tab. So if you want to do that, I'll just go through this very quickly. If you want to do that, you need to do it down here. So item.properties, so max stack size, and then you've got group, and then you just set it to whatever group. So for example, item group.brewing. You know, you just set it like that, and yeah, but I'm not going to do that because I'm already in the game now. So I'm just going to /give it to myself. There you go. Gave one example block to dev. As you can see, there's my beautiful block. Works in hand, works in both persons. Place it down. It doesn't work. Okay, let's have a look. So if you just check the log, actually I can't check the log because for some reason it's just spammed this stuff. Okay, so guys, when I added default in here, that was wrong. That's not meant to be in there, it's just meant to be plain old, you know, nothing. So now if we go back into the game and we press F3 and T, it will load the resource packs, and hopefully it should fix our issue right there. And there you go, it did fix the issue. So you just got to make sure that you know, you don't have that issue. And if you listen closely, let me just actually change. I can't make it any louder. But if you just listen closely, it does sound like sand, which is nice. And obviously the breaking also sounds like sand. Now we can test out a few more things. So for example, explosions. So if we just grab an end crystal, I mean that's pretty simple, right? Never mind, it's not that simple because we need bedrock. But end crystal, that blew it up. Okay. Let's try again. See, that didn't blow it up. Why is dirt not blowing up? Actually, that's a mighty question, isn't it? Apparently, end crystals have changed. But you see how that blew up dirt? But I don't think it blew up that. Never mind, it did blow up that. I take that back. Anyway, you can see it does have resistance. And let me just show you the hardness as well. So, okay. Let's grab ourselves a pickaxe. We'll grab a diamond pickaxe, a iron pickaxe, stone pickaxe, and a wooden pickaxe. So obviously you can break it with all of them. Oh, actually, that's not what I expected. Oh, that is actually because we didn't set the tool. So if you, let's just go back into here and I'll show you. If you didn't set, so if you do here and then harvest level and harvest tool, if you don't set that, it's just going to break and not really do much. Also, no drops. I missed that one. But if you don't drop anything, then you can do that. It actually didn't drop itself, which is kind of strange, actually. Yeah, it didn't. Oh, that's because I'm in creative. Noob. Such a noob. Can I not do that? Okay. There you go, that's more like it. I mean, it still didn't drop itself, but there you go. That's nice, isn't it? So, yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, please do be sure to smash your face in that like button and subscribe. If you really enjoyed, please do be sure to share it. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video, which is going to be food. Yeah, I believe next video food. Why not? Food is very simple, so might as well go over that in the next video. So yeah, I will see you guys then. Goodbye.